It's been a while since I've recorded a video, but I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna do it again. The reason for that is because today it's the 19th day of my half marathon journey, and I just finished a 6 kilometer run with an average pace of 4.42 minutes per kilometer. I did that within like 28 minutes, something like that. And the reason why I have not recorded a video in the last like 2 weeks is because my life has been pretty hectic. Like a lot of things has been happening, university stuff mainly. Like I've got also my job, and like too many things are like overlapping each other, you can say. I did not really have the time nor the energy, you can say, because my mental energy is like so focused on university right now because my exams are once again coming up. I did not really have the time nor the motivation, like I said, nor the energy to sit in front of a camera and record a video and say to you guys like how much I've run and stuff. In the midst of that process, you can say, I've been battling intellectually with myself. 24/7, I'm like in my own mind, like I'm writing, I'm doing like mathematics because I've got calculus, and I'm doing like other subjects as well. And I'm like 24/7 in my mind. I'm like 24/7 writing, like typing, whatever. I'm in lectures, I'm basically just working like intellectual stuff. That's basically what's like been hindering my energy for the past couple of weeks, you can say. I would say 2 weeks to be exact. And I thought to myself, you know what, I just need to take a break. It's a Friday evening, actually. It's a Friday midday, sorry. And I thought to myself, you know what, I'm just gonna take a break because this shit is like getting to my nerves a little bit. So I thought to myself, you know what, I'm just gonna take a day off. Today I, of course, went to university. I did all of the things that I needed to do. I've got no deadlines. I've like literally finished everything that I need to do, and I also got the weekends, of course. Like I'm done with like this week, you can say. I've like done everything that I could have done. There's like some other subject which I still want to focus on, but not today. I'm gonna do that in like in Sunday, like or Saturday or whatever. The main point I'm trying to make here is that I've been battling intellectual stuff for the past like 2 weeks, and that's one of the reasons, you can say, why I've not really been recording videos nor actually focusing on this journey as much as I could. First, when I started this journey back like 19 days ago, like you can say 2 months ago, I said to myself, you know what, whatever it takes, I'm gonna do like 3 runs a week, so Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and see how far that will take me. But then I realized, yeah, life is not that simple. You cannot just say, that's actually one of the best things I've learned actually in these 2 months, you can say. I've always like set a goal for myself, and I set a very rigid schedule about like what I was going to do every single week, you can say. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. But then I realized that it's not that simple. It's just not, life is not that simple. Like things will just happen out of nowhere. And one of the things I've also said in my previous videos, you can watch it back if you want, is reality is uncontrollable. Like things happen out of nowhere. You have literally zero control over like the external circumstances, like what is going to happen in your life. The only thing you have control over is like your reaction based like to that situation itself. So me sitting here and planning like every single thing ahead, I mean, I can do that, but the problem with that is you don't know what's going to happen in like 2 months from that point on. Like things can just like prop up out of nowhere, and you have literally zero control over that. I feel like every single time those things actually come up, you have to like focus on solving those things so you can come back like to the main mission, to the main path that you wanted to focus on. So that's basically what I was doing, you can say. Like hectic life, university. I've also got my part-time job, and to be honest, I've been running as well, like not really recording myself, but those are like very short runs, like 3 to 4 kilometers, and I mainly did that to like once again take a break from this intellectual stuff. But I thought to myself, you know what, today I did a 6 kilometer run, which is pretty much a short run for me right now, and I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna record myself only after it, because I also promised myself in a previous video that is not online yet, because I also did not have the time to edit those videos. Today I managed to do the 6 kilometers. I'm very proud of myself, to be honest. It was raining actually. I got my like favorite hoodie on back there. You guys cannot see it, it's not in front of a camera, but it's raining, it was cold. I did not really, to be honest, I did not really want to run. Like I'm in those seasons right now where I'm getting, if I'm not careful right now, if I'm not really careful on my like plan and schedule, whatever, is I can get very lazy in these type of months, because these are like the winter months, right? So it's November right now, almost December, so it's almost like Christmas, almost like winter and stuff. And in these type of months, I just like to like sit inside and just do nothing basically. But I have to like go against that, because the reason why I go against that is because I always say to myself, or the people that are watching maybe resonate with this, is I always say to myself, if I just sit inside and just like, for example, lie in my bed and watch a movie, I'm gonna feel way better than finishing the run. But the truth is, after I finish a run, after, for example, not even the run, just going to the gym or doing something like physically hard, not just intellectual, but like physically hard, like for example, going for a run, but it could be anything, right? When I come back from the run, or when I come back from the physical activity that I just done, I just feel 10 times better than I would have if I just stayed inside and watched a movie with like some fucking stacks and stuff. So it's like, once again, my mind is lying to me, like, you need to take a break, when in reality, I just don't need to take a break. I need to take a break from the intellectual stuff, but I just need to go more inside of my body. And that's the reason why I run. I feel like if you're talking about making this video way too long, but it's pretty interesting when you think about it, because I feel like you need to balance the intellectual stuff with the physical stuff. Like, you cannot always be focused. You don't want to be the man. Maybe I've said this in my previous video as well. It's like, you don't want to be the man that is like only focused on his intellect, like only focused on his brain. Why is that? Because you might have a strong mind, because you cannot really have a strong mind if your body is not that strong. But you might have a strong mind, but what good does it do when you're like physically not healthy? But what does a weak mind do when you're physically like very strong, maybe like an athlete and stuff, but your mind is just not that intellectual, not really like intellectually wired, not really very strong mentally. So it's like this polarity, you can say. Like, it needs to be like polarized, like it needs to be balanced in front of each other. And when you graph that, I feel like across time, what you will realize is every single time like this goes out of balance, you try to balance it again. And you say, okay, but there is no growth in that, right? Because every single time I try to balance the intellectual stuff and the physical stuff, just comes back to like the main basis point. But what you don't realize is if you actually graph it across time, is you will actually move linearly above, if you understand what I'm saying. Like, you will regress above, like you will, with a linear line, if we're talking about mathematics, you will actually pretty much move, not exponentially, but you will just move forward in a positive direction, you can say. And the reason is because you're so like focused on your life right now, this life situation, and you think, okay, but if I'm very much focused on the intellectual stuff, but I'm not so much focused on the physical stuff, let me balance that. And you balance that, but then your physical stuff, like your physical work, maybe goes beyond the intellectual work, and you need to balance that as well, right? So you're always constant in like balancing mode. Well, that's what I'm doing. You might ask the question right now, once again, is, okay, if I'm constantly balancing, then where's the growth? Like, I'm just always like remaining in this steady line. And once again, if you graph it out with like a time on the axis, you will see like with across the years, I'm talking about not just months, right? Months you can see difference, but I'm talking about years. What you will see is like this balancing thing rises, like it goes up in a positive direction. And that is what you can call growth, because that is where basically the growth lies. It's in a positive direction. So that's what I'm like been focusing on lately, man. I do have to be honest, I don't really like this so much intellectual stuff. Once again, I just need to sometimes take a break. And I always say to myself, like taking a break is for pussies and stuff. But to be honest, man, when I'm talking about break, you have to like first define what you mean by a break. When I'm talking about a break, I'm not talking about like doing some stupid shit and like just doing some bad habit. I'm not talking about that. When I'm talking about a break, is resting your mind, like maybe getting good sleep, maybe talking to your parents, or maybe like talking to a good friend again, or maybe like doing anything else besides like the intellectual work that you've been focusing on. Maybe that's even like going for a run. Like this even for me is like taking a break. Like this for me is taking a break. A lot of people say, yeah, but it's also work. But for me, it's actually a break. It's genuinely a break, because I'm taking my mind away from this heavy intellectual stuff. Or maybe for you, it's like just walking in nature. It's like reading a book that has nothing to do with the subject that you're trying to study. It's like you have to also get your mind outside of the thing that you're working on and just observe it for a day, maybe, or even like a week or a weekend, and just see where that takes you. Because I feel like it's also another thing. I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna end the video because the video is taking way too long. But I also think that when you like go beyond a certain like studying time, maybe like, for example, like 12 hours of studying, you don't actually learn that much. When you go beyond those like intellectual stuff, when you go beyond those type of like hours that you need to do, you actually regress. You actually move backwards. Like, you're actually not learning anything new. It's like you think you're being productive because you're locked in behind your desk, but at the end of the day, you're just, I feel like, regressing a little bit and moving backwards instead of actually moving forward. This happens a lot when you're just like so mentally like fatigued that you just cannot even fucking read the sentence on your fucking laptop anymore. That's when you realize, okay, I need to take a break. I was watching a video a couple months ago from Mike Israetel, and he said that what you need to do is, and I really resonate with his message, because he said that what you need to do is you need to work very hard to like the absolute maximum. Then you need to push a little bit more, and then you need to take a break. Because when you take a break in that moment, which what happens is, like, I'm not gonna like dive deep into the biology of it, but what happens is that you come back just basically like bro science stuff. You just come back way stronger because you've taken a break. You've literally taken time to like get away from this stuff, and you come back. But what happens is when you come back, you will actually surpass the limits that was once a very big limit for you. You actually just surpassed that, and now there's a new limit. And you will work once again very hard to become like to you almost at that limit. Then you push a little bit beyond, and then you take a break. And if you do this for a certain amount of time, what will happen is you will just grow beyond the limits that have been perceived by yourself. That's just what I wanted to say in this video. I'm gonna take a shower, clean myself up a little bit, wash my hair. My hair's all over the place, but it is what it is. I've run the 6 kilometers. I'm gonna show you guys the proof as well. Well, hold on, I'm gonna actually show you guys right now the proof. That's it for today. 6 kilometers, hopefully it's like, no, it's like this, right? 6 kilometers, 4.42 minutes per kilometer. So that was that. I'm gonna take a shower and see what I can do next, man. Keep taking care of yourself. Bye-bye.